Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
We joke about how in Colorado, every January, there's one weekend that just sort of spikes the temperatures. This is that weekend because we always manage to schedule our January recording day on that. Now, that being said, it's nothing like last year. And this year, the temperature is positive and double digits, as opposed to last year's negative and double digits. So that being said, Trent, I have a challenge to issue you.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Do you think you can roll above the temperature today?
Oh,
Damn.
God.
Dang, bro.
Dude, that was shots
That
fired.
was personal.
Look, I've been editing a lot of episodes. Trent was on a cold streak for a while.
It's 15 right now. That's
So-
pretty high.
Yeah, I know. So look, that's not a total shade. That is going to
Okay.
be a little difficult.
I wouldn't
Do
do
I
it.
just get
can't.
one roll?
I can't look.
You know what? Right now, Trent, if you roll above the temperature, I'm going to give hero patches to the whole table.
Oh,
Equal to or above.
I'm
can
sorry.
I give him a patch for this roll?
I'm sorry.
We know
that
what's coming. It's okay.
No one is going to get a patch.
I appreciate the
Let's
apology.
go. Let's go.
Ryan, I don't trust you.
It's not.
Oh, I was like, I couldn't tell if it was a 10 or an 18.
That's a 10.
Okay, everybody give
Right in
James a
the middle.
patch.
No. But
That's fun,
anytime you do manage to roll above the temperature today, Trent, let me know because I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
Second thing, I had a whole little laundry list to get to in the openings. I wanted to talk about the weather because we always do, and nothing makes for better.
weather.
Yeah, exactly. I also wanted to acknowledge that our last episode had an HBO season finale number of like big cliffhangers. And in true HBO fashion, it is my intent to take as long as possible to address any one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
We might even cancel the show before we tell you.
We might cancel the show while you're listening to the show, waiting for the yeah. No, I'm sorry. I brought it up again.
we were joking about like, oh yeah, there is that Biff thing. And I was like, yep, and we're not going to address it. Then we re-listened to the last episode. I was like, fuck, Biff walks into the room they're in. We have to address it.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought his name was Fib.
Oh, sorry.
His name is Fib.
Yeah, sorry, totally
different
unrelated.
show.
Jesus, man.
It's a
Yeah,
different
what are
guy.
you talking about,
Biff's
man?
dead.
Not
Is
all
that a
kobolds are the
double F
same.
fib?
What's that?
Is it double F fib?
No, just FIB.
Okay. Oh, was it
Not
just BIF?
FIBB.
What's that?
Was it just BIF?
Maybe,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
Unrelated.
okay.
Just curious.
Fib. Otherwise, you know.
Fib.
I'm trying to think if I had any other big ones. Oh, I mean, I guess we could go to something topical. Speaking of getting canceled.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Jeez, not a great start to that statement.
Did he find out?
Did HR find out?
Did HR find out?
Rip to TikTok. Supposedly. What? Is that tomorrow the last supposed day of
Tomorrow's
TikTok?
midnight tonight.
Okay,
Allegedly
look.
the last day.
Ugh.
Break it down for us, Trenton.
The thing is, right, Biden has already said, I know for you listeners, Biden was president.
The whole time.
It's just so this exists, like, you know,
As a
for all
historical
time.
record.
Posterity.
Yeah, Biden has already said he won't enforce the law.
Uh-huh.
And Trump has said, for you listeners, Trump is the authoritarian fascist that still rules the entire America, North and South.
Canada takes
Oh,
some
and
umbrage with that.
Greenland for some fucking
for
reason.
some
I love the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I plan on visiting soon.
He is the dear leader, the one who must not be spoken of. Anyway, he has said that he wants a law to reverse it, which, you know, Republicans may not do, but it wouldn't surprise me if nothing happens.
Yeah.
It may go dark for like 6 hours, 12
I mean, it won't
hours.
go dark. They just won't update in the app, in the store
Right.
page. Anyway, who
Let
knows?
me say this, though.
Yeah.
If Mr. Beast buys it, I will get off of that app on my own.
Even,
Me too.
Even
Mhm.
worse, that there are already talks that Elon Musk is trying to buy it.
What's that new Chinese app that everyone's jumping ship to? Red Note?
Yeah.
Oh,
How's
Yeah,
how's
okay,
everyone's
but-
Mandarin?
Yeah. yeah.
Ni hao.
It is.
We'll work on it.
It is quite literally a propaganda arm of the Chinese government. Just so everyone's aware,
Yeah.
I do not recommend downloading and using that app.
And they're a little more stringent about the content that goes onto it because they're allowed to just remove it.
They have already hired 200 English-speaking content moderators to monitor what gets uploaded to the app.
Out of curiosity, are they just 14-year-olds hopped up on Mountain Dew with some Discord mod power?
They are Chinese internet snoops who would, like any mention of Tiananmen Square, they will scrap from the entire app. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
don't really recommend people use that as a
Nope.
substitute.
None of our videos are going to show up on RedNet.
No.
Oh, tell you what then. So here's a hard segue into an actual opening. We only got a couple minutes, so we'll keep it fast. Of social medias, living, past, or present, what's a recommendation or something that you looked into because of social media that you have enjoyed?
Wait. Ask that again. I'm so sorry.
Of social media platforms, living, dead, or otherwise, that you've been on, I feel like I get a lot of cool recommendations for things by like paying attention to conversations.
Mhm.
What's a recommendation or something that you looked into because of social media that you ended up enjoying?
Easy
Ryan's got his
Vine.
hands up.
I find myself a poor gift giver. Like I'm just
Okay.
not very good at it for whatever reason. But this year via TikTok, I got McCare some fleece overalls for Christmas.
Ooh.
And she has worn them almost every other day since Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're
Wow.
so badass. And I didn't even realize, and maybe that's like why, because we're just buying all these products from China. Not that we're not buying all our products from China anyways.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's one of the things. And yeah, I thought that was really, really awesome. They're super nice and they were very, very affordable.
Hell yeah.
You know, because we cut out the middlemen and, you know, but it took a long time to get it here, but they're really dope.
This isn't going to be surprising, but I mean, the cooking things that I get
Yeah.
off of any platform.
yeah.
I mean, Twitter's not a great place for it, but Reels and TikTok, like the cooking things that I get are amazing.
Also, for the listeners, Jason isn't actively dying. He's actually recovering from
Yes,
dying
yes.
because it's also January in Colorado, and this cold season fucked.
This is the
Yeah, it was
best I
bad.
have sounded since December 19th.
Yeah,
Oh.
by the time this comes out, we probably
Oh.
will have just put
A month.
Jesus.
Wow.
1 month.
Oh, you got sick on my birthday.
Yeah, it was for you.
That's so
Oh,
for
also,
you.
that's right.
That's
Trent.
so sweet.
Hey,
you
Trent.
finally shut the fuck up on my birthday is what I heard James say.
Trent,
Yeah,
for getting all of us your birthday off of work.
you're all welcome.
Oh, what?
Thank you.
Aw.
Thank
But he
you so
rolled a
much.
10. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but he gets a patch for his
This is-
December 25th
this is
The
birthday.
for
rest
being
of us
Jesus.
just suffer.
The rest of us.
Colorado Jesus.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because I recently acted off of a social media recommendation. I follow the author Gail Simone. She's like an award-winning comic author, among other things. She does a lot of work with Marvel, and specifically around like X-Men.
Yep.
And
She writes Uncanny X-Men.
yeah, she's awesome.
Mhm.
And she'd recommended a couple of number ones of limited runs that came out in January. And I've read comics as like trade paperbacks before, like what you can buy at like
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble and bookstores. But I've never bought individual issues of comics. I've gotten a couple as gifts. So I went to my local game store, which also does comics, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in trying. So I picked up issue 1 of Magic, which is Colossus's sister,
Yeah, yeah.
and issue 1 of a new run of Cable.
Nice.
I like Cable.
This I want to on a break. I'll have to show you because the opening page. It's like one thing I didn't realize is I guess like a lot of modern comics kind of have like almost an opening credits with a little like previous or like this character has done this written by this. This Cable has a 3-page cold open essentially,
Oh, wow.
and his internal monologue on the first page is so delightful and campy and provocative that I was like, oh, this is a great opening to a short story. So. Yeah, comics. I love following writers because they'll often shout out other writers they like, and I find really cool things that way.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Rex off of social media?
All I can think of is recently I saw a video on how to open a hard-boiled egg with like a spoon of like
Ooh.
working the spoon up in between the egg and the shell so that you don't have to try to like crack it and rip it off yourself. It worked really great.
So the
and-
life hacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love life hacks.
Hell yeah.
Well, I've got something similar to that then. That there's a video on what used to be known as TikTok of somebody
Beast
taking
talk.
like a ratchet strap for all the men in here
Yeah.
and women who need to move things
You know, honestly, gender is not even a factor.
for everybody.
Yeah.
If you get a knot in your ratchet strap,
Okay.
those are really hard to get
Yeah.
out.
They really
Yeah.
are.
You can take a hammer and hit it repeatedly, and then you can just take the knot out.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
That's
pretty
called.
cool.
I don't believe you.
No, I think
I
as soon
saw
as he
it.
said it,
I
as soon as he
saw
said it, that's called mechanical agitation, folks.
that is it's a Navy term.
It is. It's called. And I immediately thought of
Mhm.
Timmy.
That's
And-
also
and-
the term for what I do in
Yeah.
bed.
Wow.
No.
What do you mean by
HR.
that, Trent?
HR.
I give my wife the old mechanical
Nope.
agitation.
For a second, I thought Trent was going to recommend the thing that TikTok's been recommending, the Red Note app
Oh.
for everybody.
Mm,
Have we already
no.
talked about that? Or
Yeah,
was
we
that off
mentioned
mic?
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 7 months ago because
Yeah.
Lauren talked about her Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, that's right.
All right, Jared, what do you got?
Big chilling.
So this I'm not on social media all that much unless it's sports related on Twitter, and only because it's the only app that really covers all the sports stuff.
Do you
But
mean X, the everything app?
yes, sorry, X. My apologies. My apologies.
Wow.
This
This entire game is run by Grok.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All of you stop.
But through osmosis or just through exposure from my child,
Uh-huh.
there's a musical called Epic the Musical that just an independent guy made this musical about the Odyssey. And I didn't think much of it at first. He was listening to it and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know what it was. I didn't ask any questions. You know, he's 12. I'm like, I don't know what you're listening to ever. But it like slowly grew on me and I really enjoyed it. And it finally just ended the last saga, whatever it's called. It was really good.
That's
And
awesome.
they have like it's got a big following. They have like animatics online for all the songs now. It's got this big cult following. It's been kind of fun to watch it take off and just like a little independent project that kind of blew up.
Yeah.
That's
like it.
really cool.
Yeah. So
Wow.
go
Well,
check it out. It's fun.
hopefully we can now get to our little independent project.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, wow.
like, I mean, bubbling over might be the right phrase. You know,
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
do
know
it.
that we're ever going to blow up. And we'll talk about that a little bit next episode because I wanted to share like my philosophy on why we're still making this and doing it. But I think what we really need to do now, because Trent just shoved that scene right into the middle of it.
Oh,
So I think all of you
Shit.
are in City. Yeah, get ready to react.
Yeah, you
to
ready?
I gotta check character sheets.
Yeah,
real
I have
quick.
no idea what's happening right now.
It's probably not important, right?
I blame Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Shoving mechanical things where they don't belong.
Yeah, I know.
But enough about Trent's news today.
It's what I'm known for. Oh yeah, totally recommend to listeners. By the way,
bidet.
Your specific
my
bidet.
bidet. Come to my house
No,
and use
don't.
my
No,
bidet.
don't do that.
Wow.
No one do that. No one ever go to Trent's. Well, people can, but anyway.
Invite basis only.
Yeah. So let's go back to the town hall. All of our characters and heroes are there. A lot of our NPC cast probably around. When the door slam, or did you want it to be in an inn? Well, so I guess you were non-specific, Trent.
Oh no, it's like swinging, like
But
in
here's the question.
in a western, like the two swinging doors open.
But like in a very real, this is above the table kind of conversation.
Yeah.
The party was probably in the town hall, like throne, city council chambers.
Yeah.
Did Biff walk into there, or did he just walk into the inn in town?
Yeah, he just went to the inn in town.
Thank God. We're going to HBO this shit. See Biff in 4 episodes.
Okay.
Yes.
So instead, we're going to go back to the group. All of you are at town hall. You've just gotten your invitation from the fucking place with the people, the Mbeth travelers, who have actually sent their leader, Yamal Wiser, to invite you to this hunt, along with some other regional representatives or dignitaries, essentially. Thoughts?
I love hunting cryptids.
We're going to die.
There's not a thought in
Or at
Arthur's
least
head.
they're going to try to kill us.
No, I have you, and there go. I will not die.
So, what's everyone's thoughts? Where you going? What you doing? How do you want to prep to head out? You've got 3 days, which is about how much travel time you're gonna need.
Well, can we address that a year has passed?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, the last episode.
Do you
Okay.
Now that you've all had a month, 2 real life months to think about what happened in that year, do you have any additional things you wanted to bring up? Because you've all been kind of just chilling for like a year. Well, you've been doing shit for a year. We've been working on Kingdom Turns, the first of which should be up on the Patreon now. It's Jason sounding even more like death, me, and then a little bit of Ryan and Jared.
Very little bit of me, but I made it right at the tail end.
I came in late and then left early.
I just want to note that, like, in the preceding year, Arthur has been going out and exploring or scouting hexes, sort of like, okay, we just got attacked by something. We need to know what's actually around our whole immediate area.
Well, and if you're
not mechanically for Kingdom Turn stuff.
The rules explicitly say that scouting as a part of like expanding your kingdom can be done as a kingdom activity or just through the normal parts of adventuring count as scouting or clearing hexes. And if you'll remember, that gnome, Jubilost, has been working on a map of the region. So probably of the NPCs who'd go with you, this alchemist has been accompanying you.
And I believe...
And I think...
And J. Jonas
Jr. has been very interested in just kind of sticking with Arthur. There's been a lot of stuff that's changed in his life. And just kind of also being like, oh, you're going out? Like, cool, let's go. And so I think in the last year, J. Jonas Jr.'s very finely pressed and brand new Eddie Bauer attire has become worn in a good way. But like he's dirty. He's much more in the earth, digging around, and much more interested in that, and much less well put together as he maybe was when we all first met. In the mic.
Arthur is on I'm on a journey of self-discovery.
It was kind of an afternoon or evening. Do you all have any scenes, anything you need or want to do before we kind of transition to you all heading out in the morning towards this old hunting lodge?
I think Lucky would talk to Nikolai at some point and just say, not real keen on doing this. Not super excited about being surrounded by a bunch of hunters. Mind if I sit this leg out?
Nikolai is kind of shocked initially at the idea, but then he's like, it has been almost a year since we had the attack of the owlbear, so it would make me feel better if one of us was here.
Yeah, I think I'll keep an eye on things. Make sure things are calm for the most part.
Bye, Kitty.
Bye, Arthur. Have some nice fish on a stick for me.
Oh, I hope so.
I got someone who can fill my place, though.
Oh, really?
Who's
this?
He'll meet you on the road.
All right. Does he have a name?
His name's Red.
Oh, okay, Red. Sounds good. Well, I wish you I hope it's very boring while we're gone.
Is he a big red one?
Guess you'll have to find out.
It's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, and then Lucky will just start plotting. Because
Nikolai kind of watches you walk
that's his
away
default.
for a second.
Damn.
This is the first adventure that all of the original party is not like that. He's the only one left.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Because Ari's hanging back at the kingdom. Lucky's back. Biff's gone.
Yeah.
maybe wonders if he should go,
Biff's dead.
but then turns, smiles, and heads off towards this super relaxing, eventful hunting trip.
Yeah.
Non-eventful hunting trip.
Yes, uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
So you all, the next morning comes, Laku, right?
Yes.
I'm really bad with Tengu names, so I was like, I gotta get Laku right. And then it's also written on the combat tracker, so that helps.
It's
That does
okay.
help.
You'll get it.
So you have been, I'm sure, over this year going back and spending some time, obviously, at your family's cidery, right?
Yes. So yeah, she is currently kind of split between her home and the kingdom. She
Mhm.
does want to move her family over, but she needs to like is there an orchard she could purchase? Does she need to start planting apple trees? Where can she like set up her cidery? Moving like a whole glass blowing business. Like she needs the oven and stuff. And so she's going back and forth planning with her husband and son who are running the cidery of just like, okay, I think this would be a really good opportunity for us. We can really set up, brand us from the kingdom, make sure everybody's only drinking our cider. But yeah, it's you can't just like move a farm in a year. So
Yeah. So you've been in town. So you obviously were there when Yamal came by and kind of gave the proposition. And I feel like probably didn't hurt that you sort of saved some people's lives. But so like maybe you're not a part of one of these seated governments yet, or I don't know, do you think you would have been, or more of just like a close friend who's been involved more?
I think just like a close friend. It seemed like everyone was open to like, oh, we'd love to have this sort of thing in town. And so like seizing that opportunity, I imagine she's like relying on Nikolai and like Lucky and others of like, she'll come to town and just kind of go directly to them and ask them questions and try to, get help setting up her life here.
Yeah, Nikolai's stoked that a farming family moved in.
Yeah.
Well, and that is one of the things we do know from some of the Kingdom Turns we have finished is that in the last year, a lot of the growth has been like different sort of cottage industry. Like the apothecary was one of the first things you started working on, the general store you've done, and for you and your family, this is one of the first like actually maintained and to some extent almost patrolled roads with a straight connection, political and commercial, into southern Brevoy and to Rostov, right? That's the southern state, I think. So like for you, if nothing else,
we have
it's
a road to
the capital of Rostov. I can't remember the name.
no to what's his name, Oleg's.
Oleg's,
yeah,
yeah.
Oleg.
No,
Oh,
Oleg's
yeah.
is
We have
on.
yep, and then that is on the road. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she'd be super excited to get set up with something like that.
So there's probably a few others there, but the call of adventure.
What's the name of your cidery?
Scrumpies.
Yeah, you're like
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
6-pack of Scrumpies in the cold
I was
foods
gonna
at
say like
Oleg's.
there's like
He's
a
like, yeah.
Scrumpy's cooler, like there's a Red Bull cooler, in
Yeah, yeah.
like by the door. Scrumpy's.
Yeah. Oleg's is one of the first people to take it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
for
exciting.
sure.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for like weird sponsorships. You're gonna see Arthur charging into combat with like pristine shiny armor and a
Yeah.
small like Scrumpies, like a
Scrumpies.
NASCAR thing.
Yeah,
I
like-
do imagine that his like cape just is
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
advertisement for
Yeah,
For
Scrumpy.
sure.
All right,
Drink
You
dudes.
see it's like
Scrumpies.
flowing bright red, and then it kind of opens, and then you see the like you see the logo, and then it kind of closes back in on
Yeah.
itself.
Our IDs to get in and out of town
Yep.
buildings are on Scrumpy's lanyards. Yeah.
The bureaucratic
man.
government of Shadow
So
Shield.
funny.
Brought to you
Brought
by
to you by
Scrumpies.
Scrumpies. The most scrumptious
They got
cider there
Scrumpies in the
around.
stolen lands. That's crazy.
I grew up listening to these old audio cassette recordings of the Shadow radio dramas, and all I can think is those old commercials of like, remember, every bag of Blue Flame coal you buy helps our boys in the war effort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every Scrumpies you drink supports our boys abroad fighting for Shadow Shield.
I love
Drink Scrumpies, support Shadow Shield.
If you want
Yes.
scrumptious, drink Scrumpies.
I love it.
like
I love
that.
it.
it. Yeah.
If you want scrumptious, drink Scrumpy.
Oh man. If nothing, booze is good for morale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of arts. I think it's probably a growing area. And I think one of the things that is interesting, if you look at a lot of the demo breakdowns of cities in Galarian, because it's fun and you can do that, and because it's Pathfinder, what you'll see is that most communities are predominantly human, like by staggering amounts, with the exception of some like really group-specific things. Like Keonan obviously has some extremely xenophobic elf settlements and things like that.
Whoa.
Gonna kick them all in the balls. That's what we agreed.
Yep.
Racist elves.
But I think just kind of what's been happening, and you've just kind of seen this, and I don't know if this would factor in for you at all, Laku, is that this is becoming quite a melting pot of different cultures. Like the kobolds have quickly, like the fact that it's named in part after a kobold means that not just the soot scales that you've worked with, who are sort of early places and high up in government there, but there's a lot of like kobold diaspora that have ended up there. It hasn't grown excessively, but like word has made it out to a lot of hobgoblins that like this is an area on growth in which like there is a lot of opportunity to make themselves, to make like a name for themselves. And so that group you brought over have stayed there. Word has started to make it out that it's a place where people who want to kind of carve out an opportunity for themselves can. And I think one thing I will note is that in that effort, very few people have been as vocal about sort of the opportunity there as let's see.
We're vamping.
No, I got it. As Kristoff, who is the last of the remaining bandits, because you remember Floric, his friend, died in the beast attack. But
Poor guy.
Heartbreaking.
Kristoff, who's finally, because it was Floric who wanted to be a lumberjack, but Kristoff is one of the fishermen in town and is like made a good living for himself that way, and has become a little bit of a community leader in that sense. So there's a lot of folks who've sort of seen it as a place of opportunity. And like I said, very, very Old West in that way. Like if you come out, if you want it, you can take it and have space for it. Also in the Old West, it's, this is also someone's home. So everything's difficult out here. Whether it is inhospitable enough where there isn't a lot of like established cultures, but there's a lot of like natural flora and fauna out here that's dangerous. So it's been a difficult time, but for the most part, things have gone well. Anyway.
Does he offer fishing lessons?
Probably.
Okay.
Do you think
I'm
Arthur's taking
imagining
like a learning annex evening class?
Arthur spends a lot of time there because he's so stoic that he's like, oh, I enjoy fishing. I can just be quiet.
So it's just you, Kristoff, and the fisherman who looks staggeringly like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There was a whole thread on Reddit like several weeks ago, people being like, have you all seen this art in Kingmaker? This guy looks exactly like Snoop Dogg.
He does.
And I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's not just us.
Yeah, we get the old fish shizzle.
No.
But
So, do you make any additional or special preparations? No, Trent. Before you head off the next morning to go east up the river?
Goodbyes.
Sure.
Arthur puts on a helm that you all haven't seen before and has a jewel encrusted in the front.
Ooh.
Nikolai puts some barding on his owlbear companion.
Here for it?
I'm so depressed by that owlbear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We killed its family.
No, you didn't. Hunters killed part of his family, then you killed the other part of his family.
Oh, that makes it better.
Maybe.
Oh man.
Laku has some new instead of glasses, she's wearing like goggles now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just imagining like the glasses that little children have to wear, like glasses with straps.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Can I-
It's so cool.
Before you had straps, how did your glasses stay on your head?
Listen, this is a fantasy land. No, I imagine maybe something like a chain or something. Because they don't have ears. So
Exactly.
like, I don't know.
It's all tricky.
I'm going to say like a chain.
Maybe you just had like Morpheus that only goes on the bridge of your nose glasses.
That's what I imagined, was just like the bridge of the beak glasses.
Clip-on.
But I need the dramatic actually push up.
Actually.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they're sitting at like the beak part, then I can't really like push them up. I don't know.
I was going to say Dylan glasses, but
That doesn't mean anything.
Y'all
From Severance.
are missing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, those things sit so low.
dude, they sit everywhere
Dude, I love
except where they're supposed to go.
I feel like they're super custom too. Like the little
They gotta
the
be.
nose pads are like this long.
It's got the same material as a wide receiver's gloves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have to apologize for readers. We keep getting distracted. Or
Yes.
for listeners,
Yeah.
sorry.
yeah, for readers, it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
they can
readers
skip
are
ahead.
like completely lost.
Skip ahead a couple pages.
Yeah.
So sun comes up in the morning. You all get on your horses. Are you taking anything with you, or are you just going horseback? Like you're not bringing a whole fucking wagon on a hunting trip?
No, just the horses.
All right. So you pop up on the horses. You head up the Gudrun River. It's about 3 days. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the journey, other than to say a couple of things. I think it's probably maybe a little into the first day, half an hour, that you're kind of heading east. There's not so much a road here, maybe a little bit of one because it's kind of in the direction of the soot scales that you have some trade routes with. It's kind of the direction vaguely. I don't know if for Varnold you'd go up north, but along the river, it's usually clear enough where horseback's pretty simple. So about half an hour in, Jared, what does the party see ahead of them along the riverbanks?
Yeah. They see a very large, it's around 7.5 feet tall, bulky minotaur.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. I think so Red was in our side, one of our side stories. I think I described him as like Highland cow-esque minotaur. Very like auburn red fur, like the kind of tuft that covers the eyes almost. And it's the grain a little bit though, a little bit of gray
Oh.
I love
at
it.
the ends of those tufts. And he says, Laku, is that you?
Red? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
We're going to hunt a cryptid.
Again?
Always. You know
yeah,
me.
I guess that's true. You kind of always did do that. Well, I was told by some guy, I think he was some official, some sort. I don't know. I didn't ask. To meet the Baron out here. Do you know who that is?
Yes, but I was under the impression you and Lucky were closer than you appear to be, but it is good to meet you. Red, is it?
Yeah, Red. It was good to know his name's Lucky, too. That's
Yeah, I thought
interesting.
you knew already. That's
You can trust Lucky with your life.
information I did not have.
Well, he did say that I got to protect the Baron. He said that's my number one
Oh,
job.
well.
So,
I am the Baron.
all right. Well,
When
And-
you defecate, does it come out as like little
Oh,
bulbs?
no.
This is Arthur. He's like that.
well, I mean, it's a whole process.
Oh
but
my God.
There's
Well,
lots
yeah, for everybody.
There's lots of stomachs involved.
Oh, yeah.
So,
What's under that loincloth?
Don't feel like you always need to answer his questions.
oh,
I've
that's good to know.
learned that he asks too many.
People
Fair.
tell me that I don't know when something shouldn't be asked, so I'm sorry ahead of time.
Well, as long as you just keep being you, I'm fine with that.
Oh, Red, I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything more about the mosquito witch?
No, is there more about the mosquito witch?
Well, I've been a little I wouldn't say cursed,
Oh,
but it's definitely been haunting me for the past 30 years or so. And
well, that sounds
I-
pretty cursed.
yeah, you know, I lost a few eggs, and I
Oh,
keep
no.
hearing like some buzzing and darkness. But yeah, everybody has that. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Arthur kind of heaves his
maybe.
sword. He's like, I can end the curse for you.
No.
Hey, now you watch it. That's my friend.
Oh, okay.
The guy puts his hand on your hand, is like, it's okay. But then he leans in, he's like, keep an eye on these people.
Okay.
But I felt drawn back to that place, and I just haven't been able to find anything. But I feel like I still see those eyes sometimes, and still hear buzzing. The doll. I still have the doll. You remember
Oh.
those?
Can you get rid of it?
I never tried,
You
but
should
I
probably try
feel
that.
like no.
Yeah,
It's still as white as it was
It's my precious.
30 years ago.
yeah.
I have no context for this conversation,
Yeah,
and I find
it's
it
wonderful,
incredibly
yeah.
creepy.
Do you want,
It is
Oh,
kind of
wait.
creepy. I won't lie.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a cryptid. We solved it. It was fine.
I mean, it doesn't sound solved to me. It sounds like you're cursed.
No.
No.
It's just
Schizophrenic,
We'll
maybe.
figure it out. I'm
What?
not too worried about it. You shouldn't be too worried about it.
I'm a doctor. I am not schizophrenic. The
The actual-
voices are normal.
I don't know if it works like that.
you cannot diagnose yourself. It's
Anyways,
you need an
well,
outside opinion.
we'll have
Mm.
to get you back together with Gung sometimes. He's wandering around here somewhere.
Gung.
I think last I heard he was in a tavern doing some drinking game with like a gnoll and a skeleton or something. I'm not sure, but
Oh. Shockingly, I managed to get a letter to him, which was just titled to That Bird I Knew Once. And one of my family ended up getting it. And I was like, is it from... Who's it from? And it was him. He said he was doing well, but I haven't
Yeah.
really heard from him since.
I mean, I remember names. He's not good with names. Unfortunately, my name is real short, so he remembers that one sometimes.
Your name is short.
Yeah, it is. It is short. Just 3 whole letters.
I knew someone who had a short name.
Good story.
He was my brother. He died.
Oh,
Cool.
I'm
was,
so sorry.
Great tragedy to us all,
Oh, it's okay. I didn't really like him that much.
to most of us.
Okay. Well, that's good then, I guess.
And you thought I had problems.
Yeah. I mean, you are an oversharer, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I've been told that too.
All right, well, Baron, what are we doing here? I got your back.
We're going hunting.
Oh, okay.
So be stealthy. And he kind of looks at you like, shine
Junior,
on us.
introduce yourself.
Just gives
I'm,
you- oh, yeah.
I'm Jonas.
Are you from the Underdark?
I'm not. No.
Oh, the accent seems familiar.
Nah, I'm from Kionan. My daddy's from Kionan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Underdark is all southern.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Oh.
Your daddy's not a drow.
No, he's not. No.
You're like,
I
hey,
actually,
I can hear it
I didn't
in
know
your
my
voice.
I didn't know my real father. I was
So
actually,
it could be.
and Jonas just kind of paused and like looks real reflective for a second. He's like, I never even considered that.
Well, we can look into it sometimes. I know
Yeah.
some people down there.
Yeah. What do you use for your beard trimming? That's wonderful.
Usually Gung just does it for me, so I might get a little unkempt. We'll see.
Nice. Good friend.
I need that.
Well,
Yeah, great friend.
I need that
yeah.
art.
As a small note for all of you listeners that makes this conversation even funnier, they sort of decanonized Drow with the remaster, but I at
Oh.
this point will keep them.
Yeah.
They're just so closely tied to the Dragon Games IP that
Yeah,
it
my
was
bad.
a little weird. No, don't. I'm still keeping them in largely, but my favorite thing is that in the lore for Pathfinder, for Golarion, the Drow are like, they're a little more known, but they're sort of this like deeply, like there are elves whose whole thing it is to track down people who mention Drow and kill them.
Wow.
So the few people that know of Drow or that have heard of them, unless they've met them, otherwise they're people on the surface who have heard of them. The only other defense elves have is essentially being like you don't know what a snipe is
Mm-hmm.
or
Mhm.
isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I've
essentially
seen
that.
the movie Up.
Yeah.
I lived in the South.
Yeah. So
How's the Boy
basically,
Scouts?
yeah, you get it.
I hunted them once.
Exactly. Did you wait at
Yeah.
the bottom with the bag?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. No, I meant Laku, not me
Oh.
personally.
So, like, to some extent, that's what it is. They'd be like the jackalope. Like, the
Yeah.
elves kind of hope that everyone else thinks they're fake. So, there's a certain part with Red actually being from, like, the Underdark or whatever it's called in Golarion. The rest of you are like, is this guy just talking about how, is his dad a jackalope? Like, is his dad fictional? Anyway, fun. I enjoyed that as a Golarion lore
wonderful.
person. So you meet Red, you continue on. Any kind of things of note that Red would bring up or ask questions about of the group?
Well, he'd let everyone know that he is a swell cook
Ooh.
and doesn't mind whipping up some food for the crew.
We might have to collaborate.
Oh, you cook as well?
Boy, do I.
Yes, Arthur's fish. Oh, wait, that's me. Nikolai's fish on a stick is exquisite.
Oh,
I also make other better things.
all right. Well, you know,
I've heard so much about the fish, though.
It's pretty good, you know.
I tried this stuff. It's called scrumpies. Made some good flapjacks with those.
That's mine.
What do you mean that's yours?
I make scrumpies.
It's true.
I make the cider. That's my cidery.
Well, it is delicious. And you
Oh,
can make some good flapjacks with it. So,
You mix the cider with your flapjack mix.
yeah.
That's
okay.
a great idea.
What's your horse's name?
I don't have
That's-
a horse.
Oh, I guess I just saw a spare horse. It was in the trees.
What's your horse? What's your
Now
horse?
it's gone.
What's
we
your
all look
horse's
at,
name?
Wait, yeah.
Maybe I can ride that one.
The spare one?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. It's whatever you want to name it.
I'll think about it. Horse needs a good name, though.
Also, I don't think you could ride a horse.
I know. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a Clydesdale.
I think that horse is going to ride Red.
Yeah.
Minotaurs are mechanically large, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Awesome.
Which it does crack me up the idea of at some point, if Red sticks around and you get a mount, you'd need to get a size huge mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like when
Yeah.
the owlbear finally gets big enough.
Yeah.
You can just ride the owlbear.
Perfect.
When owlbears normally are only size large.
Well,
the
this
beast
one's
was
daddy
something
was
special.
pretty big,
Yeah.
so
His pappy.
It's got
All right.
some good pedigree.
that's it though for Red. I think.
We
Otherwise, he's pretty quiet and just goes with the flow.
it's been we've bullshitted a lot this
Yeah,
episode.
this episode is full of nonsense.
Yeah, my bad.
We like
Don't
it.
be.
No, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Look, it is the greatest joy as a GM to have an actual in-character scene play out that I can just sit back and be like, oh, this is really fun to listen to. The only rough thing is you then get really into it, there's pause, and I'm like, I wonder what they're waiting for. Oh shit, it's me, I'm the GM, I've got to do something. So speaking of which, you make it through. At one point, you'll have to ford the Gudrun River. There is a nice ford at one point you make it across. The river's normally pretty deep. However, there is an area that's shallow enough that allows you to just kind of ford across on your own. You make it there probably midday on the third day, and you work your way up to a hunting lodge. It's an older affair. It's been restored. It's in... Let me pull up the fucking map.
I thought you were going to make us do some kind of Oregon Trail roll to get across that river.
He said ford the river, and I was like, we're all going to
Yeah,
sink.
You
we're
have
gonna,
dysentery.
we're going to lose half our supplies in a
No.
second.
Yeah. Now, do you want to try to float it, or are you going to ford it
Yeah.
conventionally?
Call
I
the
played
wagon
Oregon
and
Trail. I know
float.
what's up.
Yep.
I was
I've been
bad
on
at
parts
it.
of the Oregon Trail.
I was
and
terrible at it.
we did our little travels in Nebraska. There's nothing else to do there.
I'm not sure Oregon Trail had any skill related to it at all.
No. It was decision-making stuff,
Mhm.
like making sure the right people, skills, figure, do you wait longer, push your luck? Anyway, so you make it, and you're just sort of in the plains. You're in the middle of this area. I think it's called the Camel Lands. And you're sort of about 3 days. Jason's losing it.
Can't even... The stuff that's in my head, I'll just text
Yep,
it.
same. Good for all of you. So you're about.
Would you say it's like the toe of a river?
Damn it. You were supposed to say it out loud.
It's Kamel. Do you want to pronounce it a different way?
Oh, Camel.
Camel Lands?
Yeah.
Sure. So you made it about 3 days, and you're into like the rolling foothills that are maybe 10, 20 miles away from like the actual hills. So honestly, for those of you who we all live kind of in the foothills of Colorado, if you think kind of like the Fort Collins sort of like Horsetooth style stuff, like the Red Rocks, Dinosaur Ridge, like those sort of rolling hills you can get. Now, those are much closer to the actual mountains, but kind of think that area. And so you come up to an area, like you're not getting a ton of tall trees yet. It's smaller trees and growth, but it's a lot of that kind of gorgeous, rocky, natural landscape. When you come up on this older wooden hunting lodge that you can see has been restored, parts of the wood you can see is different color where it's been replaced. And as you kind of come up a little bit toward this lodge on a little bit of a rise, the wind's not whipping, but like moving around you a little bit. And as you're kind of coming up, you can kind of look out over these rolling hills. The sun kind of going down in the west towards where your kingdom is, and in the east, the sky's darker towards those ridge of mountains that separate you from, honestly, pretty close to the edge of Avestan. That's not too much farther east from here that you can switch from Avestan to. I forget whatever that other fucking country is. I can never remember in Pathfinder. The one to the east of the east of here. It's off the map.
To the east.
Yeah, there's a couple of the weird like there's a couple of different like less popular and Avestani gods that are from that area, and I can never remember exactly that region. But think a combination of like basically Russia, you get some like Southeast Asian vibes in the like aesthetics of that place, if I remember correctly.
Usulov?
Okay.
No, Ustulov's southwest of here. It's like
That's
if you go
that's right.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's leaving the main like player's handbook map area to the east. Anyway, you kind of come up on this lodge, and you can see there's already some other horses that are tethered up in a small stable. There's a few people there. And as you get in, someone kind of greets you and mentions, and Yamal will kind of come out. I'm so glad that you have made it here in time. Thank you. There's others are already here. Please, I can show you to some rooms. We have enough. It's just a small group of us so far, so there are enough for each of you to have your own rooms. And then this evening, it's a few hours before sunset, we'll have our meal. Yes. Well, I'm excited to have you here. Yes. Is there anything else that you need? I have many things to be getting ready. Timo here will see that your mounts are attended to.
Junior, what did he say?
I was wondering the same thing.
I couldn't
actually.
understand a word he said.
I was hoping you guys knew.
That was all in common, right?
Oh yeah.
It's funny
yeah,
that
he
you
said,
we don't trust people with French accents in this game.
yeah.
They're from a shady ass part of,
He's got a
of the
real-
world.
Real tough accent to understand.
He said he's got rooms for all of us individually. and he says that what was the gentleman's name again?
Timol, Timol.
Oh, Timol. Yeah, he's gonna take care of our horses.
Oh,
And
okay.
then in how long will you say, like an hour or so, when's dinner?
It should be and to be early, just in an hour or two.
Yeah, an hour or two we have dinner. So we got a little bit of time to like relax. He says he's got stuff to tend to.
Yes,
and
I must be
then,
going.
Yeah,
Tim was
he's gonna leave.
good gentlefolk.
Where's our rooms?
I can show you to them. I'll take care of your horses first for you. Just bring them right over here. And, well, I suppose you don't have one. As he kind of looks at Red, but it was wonderful to have you here. Just as a group, do any of you have any dietary concerns I should be aware of? I don't do the cooking, but I can let the chef.
I'm
He's
not supposed to
pescatarian.
eat the sticks on the fish on a stick.
Anything, put everything you make for him, if you could. No forks, no spoons, just stick it on a stick, and that will be wonderful. It helps with his digestion.
He's a very strong pescatarian.
Now, is it okay if they're all on the same stick, or do they need do they need to be on separate
Oh my
sticks?
God.
Hold on just a second.
I never even conceived of one stick.
They call it, do you know what they call it? A kebab.
A kebab in
I don't
some
know
places.
what that is.
I don't know.
So Timol will take your horses, kind of show you to some rooms, and it's a nice lodge. It's done. Think like Northern European older style lodges, or like buildings. There's small detailings and like paintings on some bits of like walls that have been plastered on the inside, and it's overall quite nice. The rolling fields around you have some like small wildflowers, and there's already the smell of like rich and hearty foods, which is nice because if I remember correctly, about a year later, we're in the like November, December analog. So like it's getting a little chilly. In the meantime, he will set you up. There's kind of like there's sort of central bathrooms, essentially, individual rooms, and then like a common room / dining room. And so go for it.
What's the vibe in here? Because the music is telling me get ready to roll initiative.
Oh, yeah.
But the vibe is like the Overland or the
Like
Overlook
vacation.
Hotel before shit went south.
Yeah, does it smell like pine?
Where's the Colorado room?
And the horse guy, his name was Timol.
Yeah.
Who's this gentleman talking to us? What was his
This
name
is
again?
still Timol.
Oh,
He's British
I
now.
thought there were two
Thank
people.
God he speaks English. I mean,
Yeah.
common.
Who was the French guy?
That's Yamal.
Yamal.
He's the
Timol
head of the
and Yamal.
he's the head of the
Yamal.
Imbeth Travelers.
Okay.
Yamal, and then
I
Timol.
will try to remember that.
He kind of says
Yamal and
he's a former farmhand who's kind of came in with this group because they were helping to hunt some creatures in his area. But as the farm kind of wound down, he kind of like wasn't interested in working in that anymore, and they offered him to kind of work at the lodge, which he just frankly likes a little more. Especially the winters are much easier tending to folks than tending to land in the hard frozen months.
What did you grow?
Beets.
Oh, it's a hearty.
Oh, I had the best beet juice back in this little backwater town so
Oh,
many
yeah.
years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It grows well in this area. Mostly beets. I did a few years on
What, a special kind of beet, like a bullseye, or just good old red one?
red ones.
His name is Red.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they were smaller than you,
I would hope so.
but I did work on a wheat farm for a bit.
Hmm.
You know, just a little bit of this and that, making ends meet. Well, anyway, your rooms are here. So yeah, no, the vibe is nice. You do see a couple of other folks around. You see two women that look kind of similar to each other at a distance. They have a lot of like their clothing and style is very much in like the Brevish, even specifically Restov styles and cuts.
Like to the point of them being twins, or just
Maybe.
Okay.
You notice there's another woman who's has like a couple of larger like tufts essentially around her. She's dressed like quite well, darker hair with the
Your
hair.
hand placement while I was saying that was not ideal.
She's got two larger.
Yeah, you were like, she had two larger, like, with his hands right in front of his chest. Tracts of land.
I must admit that they were bulky fellows, tufts. But yes, I can understand where you're at. This is
Yeah.
going to be one of
Sorry,
those
she-
days, isn't it?
Does she have two large tufts up?
No, two large like
Tufts.
bodyguards.
I thought
like
it was.
two,
Oh,
I thought it was
thank you.
tough.
Oh,
Oh.
tufts. I see.
Got
I see.
it.
Dudes.
two kind of tough looking fellows. We're talking
Got it.
like cauliflower ear sort of looking fucks.
Cauliflower ear looking fucks.
You don't-
Trademark.
You don't wrestle those guys. With
No,
cauliflower
no.
ear.
Mostly dark hair with like a little shock of like whiter color in it. She looks relatively uninterested in interacting with almost anyone else and has been slowly kind of reading through a book while one or two of her presumably guards goes to kind of get her anything you need. There is some water in there, and then they also have like drinking chocolate and like a warmed, like do you know what Glühwein is?
No.
Like a
No.
mulled, like it's like a very alcoholic, like a spiced mulled wine essentially. That's
Oh,
the
that
easiest way
sounds
to describe it. It can kick a little harder than that. I mean, actually, someone look it up. Glühwein.
I got it.
Yeah, what do you got?
Glühwein is a German mulled wine. And
Boom.
Glühwein literally translates to glow wine because of how you feel after you've been drinking tiny
Oh.
mugs outside in December.
Matt, is this the
Boom.
stuff that your
Specifically.
mom makes? Phone
Perfect.
and let us know.
Yeah, so there's like a few of that out, like some things to drink and sip, and there's places to sit around. Do you guys have anything you want to do, or should we just kind of fast forward to dinner?
Yeah, just schmoozing with people.
I have one thing that I'd like to do.
No.
I'm going to go over to the Baron and kind of give him like the elbow grab and be like, if I can sneak outside real quick before dinner, I'm going to go see a man about a tree.
All right.
And I'm going to go plant a fucking tree somewhere nearby.
The guy looks in his glue vine. He's like, I don't know what that means.
We have restrooms
I
inside.
was going to say, I thought there
Yeah.
were restrooms right around the corner.
It's just something that we do.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just
Okay.
going to go just do like a lap around the building and just take a look. Where do they take our horses? And just kind of taking stock of stuff.
Mhm.
And then just,
Split the party. Sure,
kind of
yeah.
like, and I mean, this is kind of outside. So kind of if I can, since we have an hour, if I could just use society to just kind of eye people up and down and just kind
Oh,
of
hell yeah.
gather some information.
What's that bonus? Well, so gather information is explicitly diplomacy if you want to get information. If you want to sort of survey the
I
land.
don't have the feat for society. So yeah, I'll just kind of just shoot the shit with whoever's around. The diplomacy is a very minor bonus of plus 14.
You piece together that this is a relatively new place. This is a chance for the MBEF travelers to kind of make a real home for themselves in this area. It's something they're quite excited about. You also do piece together a little bit of information on, which I think you kind of already knew, but sort of reinforced more about Yamal, that he is someone who, like, if insulted, he's very friendly, very affable, but like if challenged or insulted, can like turn
The
on
French
a
guy.
dime. Yeah, turn on a dime.
I mean, he
Yeah,
is
typical
French.
too.
He is French. Is he played by
Um,
Robert Pattinson?
Ooh, you know, he could be. Could be.
Should be.
You do know that in general, the sort of like interests of this group are very much that like they care about the good treatment of the people and the land, seeing that like it should be a combination of both, that to take care of the land is to take care of the people, and to take care of the people is also to take care of the land. And so
I
there
dig that.
you kind of also suss out that like this might be as much them kind of trying to take the temperature on some local leaders in the area to kind of get an idea of who they like, who they might want to support or work with.
Got it.
So let's go ahead now, and it's kind of time for dinner. There's like a slightly separate room.
I wanted to look around. You when you bring up the art and the pictures,
Yeah.
is there anything religion or nature or survival that I could use, or even hunting to like? Are these just like a velvet painting of a deer, or is it like a scene of some sort?
It's more the former than the latter. It's sort of just, I think, almost generic River Kingdoms iconography. So
Okay.
like some of the animals, you see some of like the thylacines, even the like, what are the fucking like giant megafauna elk, like some of those.
Yeah.
It's just sort of stuff like that. It's theme setting,
No
basically.
religious anything anywhere.
Not particularly. Like there are some things that you think might be subtle homages, whether it's like a bow or an elk to some of the gods who kind of put in that. Because I think there's a specific god of the hunt as well.
Yeah.
It's like I think Erastil's kid.
Yeah, shame on me for not knowing.
But yeah, like some of that, but nothing explicit. But it comes time for dinner, and outside of the common room where there's most meals, there is an additional kind of one room that seems like set aside that they do seem to set up for tonight. And the very few people that are there open the doors, and Yamal is there, and he's kind of greeting everyone. By the time you all get there, everyone else is already in there, and so Yamal kind of great to accept you and just, oh, I'm so glad to have you here. Please let me formally introduce you. I've been such a horrible host so far, getting things ready. I appreciate your patience and understanding. Wonderful. Well, first, we have over here Adina and Jolia Aldori. They are from Restov, and they have joined us from Varnhold, just a bit to the northeast of here, which I understand you have some relations with, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And let me go ahead and get you some little descriptions on these two.
I can't understand
What's their names
a single
again?
word this guy says.
I'll let you know.
It's
Don't you worry.
Adina and Jolia Aldori. Each of them has short, dark hair, pretty like rugged built physiques, plenty of scars. They both have pretty stern expressions. But when they hear that you're from Shattershield, knowing that you have some relations with Varnhold, they do kind of like, it's not that they like totally open up, but this hard exterior cracks a little. They're willing to give you a smile, a shake of the hand.
I'll give him
sort
a
of
glad
nod.
hand.
Do you want to make a quick impression?
I don't mind if I do.
All right.
Be like, it is just so wonderful to see y'all.
Hey,
here."
check out
Well,
your
1 second.
diplomat's badge as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we are quickly entering into what is going to become a social encounter.
Uh-oh.
So influence points are back on the menu, folks. All right. So remember, as a little refresher on social encounters, you can use skills to try to discover what skill, like things about people and what skill checks may affect them more, and then you can attempt to influence people with skills. The thing that I've said is you basically always, because the whole thing is there's some guessing involved, right?
Sure.
Perception will basically always work as a discovery, but there's often going to be things that are better or worse. Discovery is usually the easier to suss out, but then discovery will let you know what skills to influence. If you're ever unsure, diplomacy, deception, and intimidate, those basically always are options. It's just that there
Sure.
may be specific skills that aren't intrinsically social skills that may influence them more. So you, though, as Jonas, you're just going to go rip roaring straight in, and you're just going to attempt to diplomacy, fuck discovering. You're just going to attempt to make a good impression on these two.
Yeah, I just want to be like, it is wonderful to see you. We just would love to check in, catch up, see how us neighboring people can help each other out.
Go ahead and roll that diplomacy
Don't
for
mind
me.
if I do. Here it goes.
Additionally, you'll keep in mind that like all of these also have weaknesses and resistances, like certain role-playing approaches that give you bonuses or penalties.
It's not great.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's a 17 total.
17 total. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a critical fail. They just sort of like take your greeting.
Mm-hmm. It's not great. I'm
Good-
probably a muddy mess from
Good
the
to
road.
meet you. Well, you've had, yes, because you just went outside and planted a tree, saw someone about a tree.
I did.
Your mom was like, well, I'm still, let me introduce you to the rest. Then you will have, I will have time a little bit to explain what we have going on here. No.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Aldori sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's outdoors.
Aldori Duelist is an archetype.
Oh, thank you.
And they're the rest of like sword
The
fighters.
Sword Lords.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a family, a pretty large family, and you can become an Aldori sword lord and then almost become a part of the family if you're sort of tied. It's almost knight adjacent, but for up here.
Okay.
Yeah, the sword lords, they're a whole big thing. As a matter of fact, one of the more powerful Aldoris was one of the people who sponsored a lot of these different. It was a part of working with one of the another Restov politician to sponsor these sort of
Mhm.
upstart kingdoms.
Lady Shamandi was Aldori too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
probably related to these
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
however, who knows how distant
Right,
or
right.
not. Yeah, I think very like Game of Thrones family, in which like you may have never met these other people that share a name with you.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take the Aldori sponsor off to put the
Yeah,
Scrumpies.
scrumpies on there.
Oh.
so they probably receive equal billing.
That's probably why my diplomacy didn't really work out, because she saw Arthur's
They
cloak.
saw scrumpies and
Yeah.
they were like, what the hell are these people doing?
He'll then bring you over here and introduce you. This is Annamid. Yes, did I get that right? She just, yes. Hello. Actually, I do have. Do you want some explain? You want some?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. You want to do a describe?
Yeah.
Show it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
What do we got?
Okay. All right.
Red
Oh,
dress.
man. She's got
Yeah.
a big
Oh.
red dress with like a white tabard with red little flecking on each side, right and left, and she's playing like
A lute.
A lute.
Yeah.
She's got black hair with a little white wisp,
Yeah,
sort of like a
Like
little
rogue.
rogue.
Side
Short hair,
bangs,
like,
yeah.
like pixie cut.
Boots, standard issue barred boots.
Mm-hmm.
I
Big
think
white cuffs.
Maybe some pauldrons up there?
Yeah,
Marissa Tomei plays this character, I think.
I could see that.
Like Spider-Man, Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Maybe a slightly younger.
Okay.
Even not like young.
Well, she doesn't
but-
really age, so you can
No,
say
she
whatever.
really doesn't. No,
number, and
pretty
it's her.
amazing.
And so as he introduces you, this here is Enemid Bellavara from Pitax. Yes, and
What do I know about Pitax?
Tartuccio
yeah, Pitax
has
is.
a Pentex coin in his pocket.
Oh, okay.
Let me go ahead and bring up.
Tartucky.
That's why I was just looking
Good
at him
old
like
Tartucky.
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 Yeah, I will look it up. Do any of you know anything about Pitax before I?
I mean,
No.
I can Google it.
I don't
I don't
actually.
remember it enough to tell you off the top of my head.
So Pitax.
I want to say it's like. No, I'm not gonna go ahead. You already have it up.
Pitax is it's a city / upstart kingdom in the River Kingdoms. It's west of Brevoy, so it's sort of west northwest of Shattershield a decent ways. It is the domain of one Castruccio Iravetti, an upstart of sorts, considers himself very powerful. It's they have dealings with all sorts of groups. Probably one of the things that's more well known is that a Karn Zudiger, an author from Pitax, wrote the infamous fairy tale Zudiger's Picnic, known across the Inner Sea regions for its connections to murders committed by Zudiger. Just some interesting stuff going on. I really hope that wasn't a fucking spoiler. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. That's from the travels. Yeah, it's a large kingdom. Back when alignments were a thing, it was chaotic neutral. It's an autocracy. It's Pitaxians. They speak Taldane. Main religion there is Callistria.
We're into it.
Shady.
Its title is the Tarnished Jewel of the River Kingdom.
Sounds more tarnished than Jewel.
Wow.
Mhm.
But yeah, right now you
It's
don't
like
know.
your internet comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't know too much about it. Truth is, none of you
Yeah.
have spent time learning, and the one of you who
Mhm.
has more connections to international politics is lucky, and he's not here. So all you know is that it's another kingdom. It does predate all of the Aldori chartered kingdoms.
Perfect.
So she just sort of looks at you dismissively. Is that all? Is that all?
I guess so.
Just wonderful to meet you.
I'm
We met
sure.
I have a question. We
Oh?
met the man once. He was carrying just a single coin from Pitax, is it?
So he was poor?
He didn't seem poor.
Well,
That was the only. I just didn't know if like your coin has, is it collectibles or what?
I'm glad our coin's weight still carries spending pedigree no matter where it goes. Is that all you have to share with me?
Yeah, apparently.
Hello.
Hi.
I like your loot.
Oh,
Yeah, you know how to play that thing.
Do it.
sometime. Now, here's a couple questions. Would anyone want to attempt a discovery or an influence?
Discovery.
Sure.
Basically, you got some options here for discovery. Perception, Pitax lore, or society are probably your best bets.
Perception.
All right,
I'll do a society check.
Give me that check.
Could I also do a society check?
We're rolling.
Yeah.
We're rolling or you're rolling? Roll it.
No, you all can roll this. And so keep in mind that basically each time you have a scene, it takes about 10 minutes. And
Okay.
sort of exploration modes, you can be doing one or the other, but not both, right? So you've already spent about 10 minutes on or off chatting with, what's his name already? No, the two
Yamal?
Aldori sisters.
Oh.
And you've now kind of have another one. So what did you all get?
28 on perception.
Dope.
Nice.
27 on society.
Jesus.
I rolled poorly. I only got an 18 on society.
I didn't roll a
I didn't
goddamn
roll
thing.
either. I'm like, this food's pretty good.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, neither of you get a ton of like huge stuff other than I'm going to say you pick up that society. You pick up that she definitely like carries herself and speaks, and you even notice it in her body language, a lot of emphasis on social graces. You think a way to potentially influence her may be impressing with a society check. Nikolai, something about her level of interest makes you feel like it'd be really easy to lie to her. Like to sort of, or almost like fake listening to her. Like you think a deception to just like ask the right question to keep her talking. If you could ask about like the right topic, it'd be really easy to make her kind of convince her that you're really interested and just let her kind of run the conversation.
Nikolai would never do such a thing, but he will say, he'll look over and to Jonas, I don't really think she's paying attention to me.
Yeah, I think she might be a little aloof. This one may be able to, we might take that to our advantage if Lucky was here.
Well, you do what you do, and he's gonna tap you on the shoulder and walk away.
So,
'Cause fuck this lady.
what was her name again? Please remind me. I'm so sorry.
Anamede.
Anamede.
She is it is
May.
noted here, a beautiful Tian woman dressed in elegant clothing that includes masterfully crafted leather armor. A blonde streak adorns the side of her black hair, and she's rarely found without her lute nearby. She smiles sweetly but condescends with clever backhanded compliments.
You set up there in the new ruins there up in P-Tex?
I'm sorry, ruin?
The new ruins. It's like the new up-and-coming part in the thing that I'm looking here in this Wikipedia and trying to talk to you about.
Oh.
On the Pathfinderopedia. This, there's like an Academy Arts there. Is that where you learn to play?
Yes, I did. Do you want to make? Are you angling for the deception check?
Sure. I mean, I was just angling for the just making. So this is where I'm getting this from in my legal use of the Wikipedia page. I rolled high-ish on my society, so I imagine I know because it says here that there's 3 sections, and this is the nicest one. In the Academy Arts is there, and there's also something called the Red Crescent Theater. So I'm just just trying to get her to open up a little bit.
So give me a society check or a deception check.
It's gonna have to be the society.
Okay.
Less good. 19.
She's like, oh, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Trust me. Well, I must be getting back to, and she just sort of like looks off and steps away.
I will note that anyone who speaks with me assumes that I am a noble or closely associated with nobility.
Okay.
Wow.
Wonderful.
How long do they need to speak to you to like realize?
His bearing is so noble.
Yeah.
I imagine it more like, this fucking guy's a noble, isn't he?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. This guy's loaded.
This fucking Chad over here didn't pay for his college.
I'm like happy to be. I'm happy that I'm playing red, but I'm also sad that I'm not playing Lucky because he's like deception, political lore.
Yeah.
Like those would be really valuable right now.
Well, and so right as Yamal sort of leads you away and talks to you, imagine the camera kind of stays with Anamede for a second as she leans over to one of her toughs, her guards. You see her just whisper something while kind of looking at all of you as you walk away. Find out more. Tune in next week.
I think she likes me.
Right.
Yeah.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Want to support us? Check us out at patreon.com/live to die pod. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more.